I think the numbers continue to pick up, but in the interest of time, maybe we could just get started. We'll just set the context, set the stage, and then by then I anticipate quite a few more people will join in. Once again, welcome everybody. Good afternoon or good morning, depending on wherever you are right now. We have an interesting 1 hour ahead of us. I know a lot of you came in because you've often heard of this concept of GCC, Global Capability Center. A lot of you are curious about what this is. No matter where you are in that life cycle of understanding a GCC, I'm sure you will find something of value here. You'll definitely have a lot to take away at the end of this session. What we plan to do is give you a taste of various facets of global capability centers, right? From understanding what it is, how is it in one of the most mature GCC supply markets of the world. We'll hear from some experts, and then of course we will conclude with the Q&A and closing remarks from NICCT. As we go through the session, please feel free to drop in your questions. We will pick it up later. But yeah, before we get started, Edith, do you want to maybe quickly call out some webinar instructions and some other rules of the next 1 hour?
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, a warm welcome from NICCT and to all the numerous people that have joined us here today for this very important topic. And thanks for the great cooperation. We will have a lot to say and to show you within 1 hour's time. So we'll keep it condensed, but to the point. And in order to make sure that you get all the content that is necessary as well as valuable to you, there will be no opportunity for you to speak in this webinar, but you can put your questions in the chat. So please keep your microphone muted throughout this entire presentation. And any questions in the chat will be addressed either during the Q&A in this session or afterwards. You will also get the presentation with our email thank you that you will get from us. And without further ado, I would like to continue with the opening remarks by Mr. Ewout de Wit, General Counsel, that unfortunately is not able to join us here in live, but he has recorded his message to you. To the technical side, yes, we need some sound here.
May I suggest something? I think when you share the screen, there is an option that you can actually want the voice also to be shared.
Exactly.
So you have to unshare your screen, share the screen again, and while sharing the screen, it says share only video or voice also.
Ja, dan krijgen ze alles mee.
Let's try once more, and otherwise we will do it the other way around and have the welcome address as a final address, which is fine as well. If you could try the technical, because it worked when we had the run before. Just 1 more minute, and thank you for your patience.
Edith,
Yeah,
we
it
are
doesn't.
really stuck here.
Okay,
We
that's
don't know what is happening, why it's not working. Well, it
Okay.
did last week.
okay. Don't worry. We will we will otherwise also share the address with you. Otherwise, no problem whatsoever. We thank the General Counsel for his kind address, where he also explained that unfortunately cannot be here because he is together with our ambassador, Marisa Gerards, today on a mission. That's why he pre-recorded his address, welcoming you and this important initiative, and for thanking us being here together today. I would like to pass the word to our moderator of today, who will take you through the program and will also introduce to you the GCC in the Karnataka's GCC ecosystem. Please.
Thank you
Back
so
to you.
much. Yeah, thank you so much, Edith. Like I mentioned earlier, we will start with an overall introduction to the concept of GCCs, understand a very mature GCC ecosystem, what's in store, how can you tap into it, how can you leverage it, etc. That will be run by Akash Srivastav, who's a director with Deloitte. Following that, we will have two case in point, two success stories to share with you all. We will start with Philips. Philips has an incredible innovation campus called the Philips Innovation Campus here in Bangalore. The head of this center, Arvind Vaishnav, is here with us. That will be followed by GPI. GPI also has an India center called GPI India. We have Shreyas Vasudevan, who's the general manager of GPI India, speaking with you following that. And like I mentioned, we will conclude with a Q&A session and closing remarks after that. Over to you, Akash.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Harshit. Hope the screen is visible to everyone. Start with the quick introduction. So what we wanted to cover in next 10 to 15 minutes is a quick overview of what Global Capability Center as a topic is, where we see this sector moving from an India standpoint, and then more particularly talking a bit more about what's happening from a GCC standpoint in Karnataka, and also talk about what are the various initiatives that the Government of Karnataka is taking with respect to GCC as a sector. We start with a quick introduction of what a GCC is and what it is not. So Global Capability Center, as the word stands, it's basically an offshore unit or a consolidated unit of a global enterprise, which has been set up with a primary intent of driving cost as an arbitrage or consolidation of services. That used to be the traditional way of what organizations used to set up GCC for. But what we're seeing increasingly is that organizations are looking to set up a global capability center more for driving value arbitrage or technology arbitrage, as we call it. Now, value could be in terms of organizations looking to set up a center or an office in a right-shored location through which they are looking to drive innovation, or through which they're looking to tap into high scale or high value talent in terms of those tech talent which is otherwise difficult to find in the market. And it's also through the GCC as a unit looking to kind of drive various interventions, be it in terms of innovation and so on and so forth. If you see on the bottom left half of the screen, you'll see different type of capabilities for which organizations have been setting up GCCs for. The more common ones are setting up a global capability center for a corporate function, which could be your back office of HR, finance, IT, procurement, or technology as a function. But from there, we have seen GCCs evolved into more of those core capabilities, which could be in terms of setting up a capability center for center of excellences for high value work, could be in the space of analytics, emerging technologies like AI, and so on and so forth. We are also seeing an increasing number of global capability centers being set up for driving engineering, research, and development kind of work. Could be in the space of certain industries, be it automotive, manufacturing, and so on and so forth, or could also be in the areas of delivering product development capabilities, or even in certain cases, market development capabilities like CVC and so on and so forth. Just to clarify, a GCC is not a local business office, or it is not also an offshore development center where you have outsourced it to a third party. It is your own office, your own enterprise, extended arm of your own enterprise, which you have set up in a right-shored location. Move to the next slide. GCCs, if you see, have been set up across multiple locations globally, with India being the primary location. If you see on the left-hand side, these are the various hubs which organizations have been leveraging for setting up their GCCs. However, what we've seen over a period of time, India has turned out to be the shining star, where more than 50% of the GCCs are currently residing in India. We typically run these surveys through which we are trying to understand what are the various capabilities for which organizations set up GCC. So what you see on the right-hand side are some of those functions. While traditionally, as I was mentioning, finance, HR, IT used to be those functions for which organizations used to set up global capability centers. If you look at the bottom right half part, you'll realize that more and more so organizations have started setting up global capability centers for product development, engineering, research, and development capabilities, in addition to the traditional corporate functions. If you see, as I mentioned, India commands pole position when it comes to global capability center. Out of the number of GCCs which exist globally, India has more than 50% of the market share. And what we are realizing is that the share is not only in terms of the number of GCCs, but also in terms of the type of high value work which the centers are delivering from India. More than 1/3 of the GCCs are delivering engineering, research, and development kind of work, be it in terms of digital engineering and so on and so forth. And as you see on the page, almost 500 GCCs are already working on artificial intelligence, machine learning kind of work. And we are seeing this growing at a pace which is unprecedented. We already see close to 75 to 80 GCCs being set up every year, and this space is expected to grow up even further. In terms of the differentiation that India also brings in is through the large talent pool which is available out there for you to tap into. We have more than 2.1 million people who are already working on GCCs, and we have more than 200,000 people coming into this ecosystem every year as we speak. And these people are not just coming in with one capability or the other. You would see India as one of those very few locations globally where organizations have set up GCC across various industries, be it banking, financial services, healthcare, life sciences, technology, media and telecom, and so on and so forth. So you'll find talent spread across all these various industry sectors, and even in terms of capabilities, you'll find talent spread across industry functional capabilities, be it with respect to core industry functions or with respect to some of those cutting edge technologies, capabilities like AI, ML, and so on and so forth. Even in terms of the global roles, what we are increasingly seeing is that many of the organizations have even moved some of their global roles to India, which helps us in kind of having India come out as a location from where the work is not just delivered, but the work is also managed independently. If you see on the right-hand side, in terms of the footprint of the GCCs within India, well, of course, there are different cities which have set up GCCs or this is being set up at different places, but Bangalore continues to hold the pole position where almost of all the GCCs in India are based out of. Talking a bit more about Bangalore and the Karnataka's ecosystem, if you see, it's called the GCC capital of the world for the very reason that it holds 1/3 of India's GCC and holds the largest number of GCCs anywhere in the world as a city. There are close to 570 plus GCCs already in the city. If you look at even in terms of the breadth of the GCCs which are out there, almost 280 plus GCCs from Forbes 2000 have Bangalore as their home. In terms of the AI talent, also more than 50% of India's AI talent is based out of Karnataka in Bangalore. It also has the largest innovation ecosystem in terms of the startups or the talent pool, which kind of focuses on some of those cutting edge skills. We have more than 30 plus countries who are represented in Karnataka, and Netherlands is no different. So if you see on the bottom left half, you'll see some of those known names from Netherlands who have considered Bangalore as a location for setting up their GCC. Talking a bit more about the length and breadth, just if you see on the page, you'll realize that Karnataka offers a unique mix in terms of representation of GCCs from various sectors. So whether you are a manufacturing organization or a banking or a retail organization, you'll find your peers, your competitors having GCCs here. You will see representation of GCCs from across the geography. So if you are a global organization that has offices in North America or in APAC, you'll find many of your peers from those geographies also present in Karnataka, and you'll find Karnataka being home to not just GCCs of large scale, which is mega GCCs as we call them, with more than 10,000 headcount, but Karnataka is also home to some of those mid to small size GCCs that are very small in nature, be it in terms of 50 people or 100 people at max. So what I just wanted to highlight is that whether you are a large organization or a small organization, whether you're looking to set up a GCC for a corporate function or an industry function or emerging tech, and are belonging to any of those industries, you'll find some of your peers already working out of this location, and that gives you a respite that you are not the first one coming into the city, and you'll find a lot of those peer ecosystem to learn from, and a talent pool that is already equipped and is ready to serve you on various capabilities that you need otherwise. Just a quick rundown on the innovation ecosystem which is out there. If you see, Karnataka has the largest number of startups in India. We have close to 18,000 plus startups who are working on various technology areas, be it AI, ML, or some of those industry functions, manufacturing and otherwise. In terms of the capabilities which the state has also invested in, or the government has also invested in, we have more than 21 different center of excellences. What you see on the right hand side are those various capabilities around which these center of excellences have been set up. These center of excellences either reside in an academic institution or they reside independently, but the intent with which the government has invested in these center of excellences is for them to do research on cutting edge areas, be it with respect to technology or with respect to industry function. And these center of excellences also give you an opportunity to partner with for any of your cutting edge research program that you're looking to drive, or if you're looking to build a new intellectual property or co-develop a new product and so on and so forth. These center of excellences do offer you that capability. Lastly, I wanted to touch upon various initiatives which the government of Karnataka is running. So just to let you know, government of Karnataka was the first state which launched a dedicated global capability center policy. And the intent of launching that policy was to give the sector the necessary weight that it otherwise warrants. And if you see that as part of this policy, there were 4 broad pillars around which interventions were brought in, be it with respect to ease of doing business, with respect to talent development, or creating that required infrastructure for driving innovation and driving research and development with respect to GCCs. Last, to create that collaborative ecosystem that I earlier talked about, wherein the idea is to bring various GCCs come together, either amongst themselves or along with the larger ecosystem, be it academia, be it research institutions, and so on and so forth, to co-create and move up the value curve, as we may want to call it, in terms of delivering more high value added capabilities. Simultaneously, what the government is also doing is to create a single touch support ecosystem. Very recently, the government of Karnataka launched what we call as Catalyst. It's a ease of doing business cell which has been launched with the intent of provide these with all the support that is needed to set up a GCC. So if you are looking to set up a GCC or looking to scale up a GCC, this cell is going to help you with all the necessary support that you need, be it in terms of helping you be more aware of what is there at offer from an ecosystem standpoint. If you want to connect with some of your peers in the state, this cell can help you with that. Or if you need any support from an initial legal entity setup standpoint, or if you need support from finding the right real estate location, talent, and so on and so forth, the cell has all the required tools and accelerators to help you with all of that. Just a quick summary of some of the incentive programs which the government is also running. As I was talking about, there are 4 broad pillars around which government of Karnataka is supporting all the organizations who are either already here as GCCs or who are looking to set up GCCs. And there are multiple financial incentives which the state government is offering, be it with respect to ease of doing business, wherein there are reimbursements for quality certifications or patent filing related aspects, or even in terms of talent, wherein the government is supporting you with reimbursement of internships, or if you're looking to do recruitment, the government is also willing to support you with respect to reimbursement of some of that recruitment costs. Even in terms of research and development and innovation, government is helping you with support from a capex co-investment standpoint for setting up those innovation labs or center of excellences, or if you're setting up an R&D infrastructure, the government is willing to co-investment with you and all of that. So there are multiple avenues for you to tap into from a Government of Karnataka ecosystem standpoint, be it in terms of you getting the right support through the dedicated cell, or you getting the right support from government in terms of getting those fiscal financial support that could help you in scaling up your GCC or establishing a GCC in the right capability areas. Just a quick summary of Catalyst, the initiative that I was talking to you about. It has three broad pillars, as I was mentioning to you about, be it in terms of helping you set up a new GCC, or even once you decide to set up and you are here in the state, the cell is going to work with you on an ongoing basis to ensure that we help you resolve any of your ongoing issues or help you expand your ecosystem network in terms of connecting you with academia or R&D centers. And there are multiple pillars that you see on the right-hand side where the government is working across players to help you facilitate with all the support that is needed to be successful as a GCC. Over to you, Harshit.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you so much. By now, I'm sure you all would have realized that the only thing common across all these versions of GCCs is that they consolidate capabilities. Like you saw now, there's a huge scale, there's a huge spectrum of scale that you see among GCCs, the mid cap, large cap, small cap. Just to give you a glimpse of the range of companies that explore GCCs, like I mentioned, we'll have two companies coming up and speaking. Up first, can I please request Arvind Vaishnav from Philips Innovation Campus to speak about your initiative, your whole GCC journey.
Yeah, well, we'll do. I hope you all can hear me, and you can see my slides as well. Can you see my slide and you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So thank you. First of all, the Netherlands Embassy in Bangalore and also industry partner for providing us an opportunity to talk about the journey of Philips Innovation Campus. My name is Arvind. I'm the head of Philips Innovation Campus here. I'm in Philips for about 15 years. Most of my time I spent in research. And then currently I'm leading this campus, which is actually one of the largest innovation campus of Philips globally. Before I get to the point of how we evolved in our journey, it is very important that I touch upon a few things about Philips. And I know that most of you know about company, but we have been at the forefront of serving our consumers, customers, and patients for over 130 years. In these over 30 years, we have reinvented ourselves to remain relevant by embracing our purpose of improving people's life and well-being through meaningful innovation. In the recent times, as you all know, we have become a very health tech focused organization. So this vision has become even more profound as we have transformed ourselves from a consumer and lighting and a very diversified business conglomerate to a very focused health technology organization. And that is relevant for me to talk here because that's where we associate ourselves when we talk about, or when Philips talks about globally of touching 2.5 billion lives by 2030 and 2 billion lives by 2025. So that's a very powerful purpose and the vision which kind of binds us with the entire ecosystem within the Philips. Now, our journey actually in Bangalore started sometime in mid-90s. That's when our products, especially in the health technology, were becoming very software-centric products. Before that, we had taken a very big leap. Some of you who know Philips and its history, we have taken a very big leap in the digital aspects of the consumer products. The most prominent one was, let's say, the DVD, which came from our audio players in combination with Sony. But I think what was becoming a priority was to create products with a human-centered approach and design them for design of for life, as we call. So that became the most prominent part. And as I mentioned, as the software was taking the leap towards providing that human-centric approach, we thought it was a good time to leverage the software capabilities which exist in Bangalore and to its full extent. And that's when we started our capability center, software capability center, actually in 1996. And that's the time when we started to speed up our transformation, not just in consumer electronics, but lighting, but software-driven products. And here you see one of the main healthcare product, which is still in Netherlands. If those who are this is actually an MRI scanner, and so the point that I'm trying to drive is that our desire to leverage software capabilities to create a human-centric design and provide an impact at a health technology level. So this is where we started. We are close to about 30 years now. 1996 is roughly we started. Now, why Bangalore was chosen? First of all, it was a growing tech ecosystem. The city was buzzing with the growing ecosystem of IT and IT engineering services at that time. There were larger organizations in Bangalore infrastructure like Bharat Electronics. There was a large organization on the defense research, etc. It has been since the Bangalore ecosystem has grown by leaps and bounds in other areas like biotechnology, finance, banking, insurance, and in health technology. In fact, I think there was a mention earlier, the startup ecosystem. I would say that the startup ecosystem for healthcare is quite enriched even in Bangalore as well. So you see a lot of companies who are setting up their capability center. And since I usually talk about the center like us are not really in a sense a capability center, because we are really generating an enormous value for Philips, and I'll touch base later on. So we kind of call ourselves as the innovation hub and not so much about just the capabilities into certain areas. Now, in addition to the ecosystem which was buzzing with all these areas, one of the strong builder of that ecosystem was the technology was getting enabled through a wide availability of talent through a technical and management institutions. There were a number of institutions at that time, very prominent and large number of engineering pool which was available. Just as an example, today, Bangalore has roughly about 2 million software developers, and every year close to about 150,000 technical graduates or the engineering graduates are available to the industry. Of course, many of them come as a fresher, and we need to mold them to the work that we are trying to do. But that's one part of it. The ecosystem is developed so beautifully that when you get this large pool of people who are technically qualified through best of the educational institution, you just spend a less amount of time, maybe 3 to 4 weeks in my experience, and people are ready to take on to the work which is important for the organization. I think it's a very important element for those who are trying to get into, because when I look at the development concept, I want to see how fast is my takeoff of the engineer whom I have hired, and how soon he can start contributing to. And I've seen that Bangalore ecosystem is really prominent in that aspect, because the ecosystem has so much evolved, not just for industry folks, but also the people who are studying in the engineering colleges. And they are actually mentally tuned. I've seen this shift in the last 20 years, that they're mentally tuned to the fact that, look, I should be ready to go to a company and start working from day one, or if not day one, at least day two, start creating value. So this the talent pool is really a big one. I would say. And then in addition to that, I think there was also a mention of the investment friendly policy. So of course, when we started and we continue to work with the Government of Karnataka very, very closely, we just moved to our much bigger and a larger innovation campus. And I must say that the government incentives for the GCCs or the innovations is really remarkable. I would say best among other states within the country. One another element that worked very, very well, which is actually not the tech ecosystem, not about the talent availability and pool, but also look, we wanted to become a health tech organization and we wanted to lead that organization. So it was very important that we should have a high quality, accessible quality healthcare, and the deliverable and the providers who are delivering that healthcare should be available. And so when we started working, we found that there are a lot of good clinical providers, such as Narayana Hrudayalaya, which is quite a well-known organization, Manipal Institute. These are all the large academic institutions, as well as the healthcare providers who had a long-term vision to innovate, to create the platforms or create the products which could actually make a impact to the lives of the people. So we looked at that aspect and we found that Bangalore is a much important place for such kind of innovation from a quality and reliability of a healthcare delivery perspective. So we looked at that. I know it is very specific to healthcare, but it worked very well for us, and we still work with some of the large and the most renowned institutions for developing the clinical research. Now, so where we stand today, we stand here today because today we are recognized in the ecosystem as the largest software and AI hub for Philips. We have close to 80% ownership of the software platforms. When I talk about software, you can take a software from a connected toothbrush to the magnetic resonance imaging system, the end-to-end software release, which starts with conceptualizing what the patient needs are, what's the consumer needs are, or what's the clinician's needs are. So right from conceptualization all the way to the release of the software or a clinical application that happens in this center. When I talk about clinical applications and the software development, I'm talking about the enterprise level. So whether it is the embedded software, whether it is the enterprise software, whether it is a cloud software, all of that, Philips Innovation Campuses Bangalore is the hub to go to. We have the thought leaders in software and domain experts in PIC, as we call in short. So just to let you know that, say, a global R&D leader for our MRI business, he sits out of Bangalore. So he has the decision making, what should go into the roadmap. He has the accessibility to the customers. He has the accessibility to the global clinicians as to, what should go into a high-tech product like MRI machine so that it creates a positive impact to the patients. Similarly, our interventional guided therapy, which is used for cardiac procedures, the angioplasty and all of that, global software leader is located here in Bangalore. So there are about, Philips has about 14 odd businesses through which we run the global business. Actually, 8 of the global thought leaders and the R&D leaders are actually located here, and they decide what need to go into roadmap. They have the decision power, what capabilities need to build. They decide and look at the programs right from how the product or a feature should be conceptualized, how it should be delivered. And by the way, PIC is a FDA site for almost all our business units. So not just development of a software and giving it, the entire regulatory filing, submissions, and taking the product out into the market is done from this campus. And that's why I made my comment earlier that for me, it's a little much broader than just calling it as a GCC. And that's why we call our center as the Philips Innovation Campus. Not only that, we have co-located enterprise functions. So as an example, the global IT, the infrastructure technology and the infrastructure that is required for releasing software trains is actually located here in Bangalore. So the Center of Excellence like software excellence, the patient data and security and privacy excellence team is here. We have the large team of design experts who say how should the software design and implementation should be done so that it is human centric. It gives a enormous ease of relief to our patients and to our customers. We today are one of the largest and the best healthcare infrastructure among all the companies in India. I can very proudly say that. We have large number of labs where each software is tested multiple times through its development cycle. It is verified, it is validated, it goes through multiple testing in our labs before it is released out into the market, because for us, the patient quality is number one. And then, of course, I talked about the center of excellence in AI, security, cloud. These are all the the capabilities that we have built over the year. I'll take one last minute and I want to talk to you about just a few innovations that we are working. So, so left-hand side, you see a MRI machine, which is a very complex product. I mentioned to you earlier, the 80% of the software comes from Bangalore. Not just the software, 80% of the AI applications we are building comes from Bangalore. So you get a MRI scan done elsewhere in the world, you will find that while the magnet comes from somewhere else, the machine gets made in Netherlands, the table gets built in somewhere else, the coils are made in Pune, which is in Bangalore, but the software comes from Bangalore. So there is an example of a smart speed MRI machine, which actually reduces the MRI scan by 50% time. So MR scan typically takes about 1 hour. So with a smart speed application that our engineers have conceptualized and developed from here and released from here, it reduces the MRI scan time by 50%. So you complete your scan in just 30 minutes. The next one is the ultrasound scan, which you can see as a picture here. This is a compact ultrasound system. End-to-end, the development of the system happens here, including the software of it, including the platforms of it, the hardware of it, how should the machine look like, how should the user interface should look like. And then we integrate several transducers, which actually come from our factories in North America, and then we build it here. So what I'm trying to say is that the ecosystem is so well robust, being a large organization like us, that we use the capabilities from the global organizations within Philips and bring the best of the product and solutions to the market. And then lastly is an example of AI-based CT scan precise suit imaging. It's a great example of how we work with our customers here. So every time a patient has to be on a CT scan table, and the technicians cannot go inside the room because of the radiation, and the patient need to be either moved or the table need to be moved, right? So we developed an AI-based application with one touch of a button. You select the clinical specialty, and the patient automatically, the patient table automatically adjusts to the needs of the scanner. This was only possible because we worked and collaborated with a clinical partner within India. We got their pain points. We understood what they want to do, what they want us to solve, and what could be of impact to really high powerful impact to our patients. And that's why this solution also came from Bangalore. So just 3 very top high level AI centric innovations that I talk about, because I believe that this is what will drive a major impact in the healthcare in the coming days. And Philips Innovation Campus is really poised to deliver that promise to our customers and to the patients. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Arvind, for that fascinating glimpse. Now shifting gears from a company that found success in scale to a company, a relatively new entrant that focuses on very specific functions. Over to you, Mr. Shreyas Vasudevan from GPI.
All right, thanks a lot. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so I don't have any slides because I just wanted to share my experiences more as a story. So, but yeah, I think Arvind probably got most of the points which I also had in mind when talking about the benefits. But I'll quickly explain what GPI is for the people who, it's probably not very as well known as Philips, of course. So GPI is a Dutch-based group, and the core business for us is manufacturing, tanks and silos and process equipment. So you think of your ketchup being made or your mayo; those are made in stainless steel tanks, and we are quite active in that business. And what separates us from the other manufacturers is that we make each and every product of ours is engineered based on the customer's requirement. And our focus is more on future industries and to become a key player or key partner in future industry success stories. So now the focus being more on sustainable production and whatever the sustainable food and the alternative dairy, those are booming for us. And because of this business line, the key challenges that we faced in Europe was the customers expected way more engineering from our products. So the engineering to production ratio kind of shot up over a few years, and it became a challenge to find good engineers in Europe, I would say, because we looked at the whole EU, and it was becoming a bit challenging to find good mechanical engineers who understood the product and could be very willing for the mechanical design aspects. And of course, with the few engineers we have, the costs were also shooting up. So that's when we expanded outside of EU. We are looking at options, and India came in as a good option for setting up our engineering center. And so currently with that idea, we started off the journey of GPI India, and that was in 2021. So now almost 4 years later, we are now delivering a significant chunk of engineering services from our office in Bangalore. And along with that, we've also expanded and we are doing our in-house software development is also scaling up in our office in Bangalore. So we have a few GPI specific software for internal use. Those are also developed, and the QA, QC aspects are also being done from India. So I thought about why we chose Karnataka, because that's the whole concept for today, and we are based in Bangalore. Well, so we were looking at options in the whole of India. We were one of the first point of contact for a smaller company, 30-year-old company, was the Dutch embassy in Delhi. So through that, we came to know that the Dutch government also has a consulate general in Bangalore. And it was, at that time, it was, I think, just 2 or 3 years old. So it was still setting up. But then that initial conversations with the Dutch consulate and the continuing journey with them actually helped us a lot, because we got really good networking opportunities. We were put in touch with other companies who could share their experiences. And that being said, while talking to those companies, we realized that Karnataka and Bangalore has a really good talent pool. And being the IT hub, the ease of finding engineers and software developers was much easy. And it actually helped. One more point which helped was the fact that there is a direct connection between Amsterdam and Bangalore. So you leave in the morning, you're there in the night, next day you're in the office. So it also helps us, especially for the colleagues from Netherlands, as well as the colleagues from Bangalore. Since our products are really specific and custom, there's always a element of having a feel for the product which comes in. So that connectivity as well helps a lot. So since we saw a few questions coming up about the overall experience from newer companies, I think I can share a couple of points there. So so I think like everything else, it's not always positive. There are a few challenges, but I would also stress on the positives first. So as Arvind mentioned, the young talent and the availability of young talent, that has been a huge positive for us, because we usually focus more on the fresh graduates, because they come with a clean slate and we are able to train them in the way which is useful for our business. But that being said, there's also a good match between experienced engineers as well as the young ones. but the talent pool availability is a huge positive for GPI. And of course, the reduced costs compared to Netherlands does not hurt. So those are the two main positives that we've experienced. And one of the major challenges of working with the Indian counterpart for any Dutch company or any European people here who are willing to contemplating the idea of setting up an office in India is that there is a huge culture difference with regard to communication as well as the work culture. It's not challenging, but there's a difference. So that's something which everyone has to learn a bit more about and be a bit, you need to find your way through. And there are quite some people, and especially in Bangalore, the younger generation is more Western oriented. So they are also quite open and they're willing to accept new ways of working and new processes. But there needs to be some patience from both sides to understand each other and make a success story out of it. And the last aspect, one challenge again for the Europeans out here is that the bureaucracy in India is going to be a bit different than what you're used to. So patience and setting clear expectations overall is something which I would say have helped us make a success out of India. So I think I covered most of what I had in mind. I think that leaves us a bit more time for the Q&A. So if there's anything specific, then we can take it. Over to you, Edith. Harish, I'm not sure who would.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mr. Shreyas, for that insightful overview. Now we open up the floor for Q&A, like promised. We already have questions coming in. We will start picking them up, but request you all to drop in your question, anything relevant to the conversation in the meeting chat. You should be able to see that on your screen. Let's get into it. The first question that came in, are there examples of setting up of GCCs in India in the last decade? Should we want to take that up?
Sure. I think it's an interesting question. And if you see the stats, I think as we were talking about earlier, we have close to 1,800 plus GCCs in India as of today. And if I take 10 years back, in 2015, we had around 1,000 GCCs. So almost 800 additional GCCs have gotten set up in past 10 years, to the question that I think was asked. And what we are seeing more and more so is that majority of these new GCCs which are being set up are not necessarily coming from the large organizations, but rather the mid-market segment. And when I say mid-market segment, I'm talking about organizations who have revenue in the range of $100 million to $500 billion, so to $5 billion, right? That's the size of the organization which is driving the growth of GCCs. In fact, as we speak, we have more than 480 odd GCCs from the mid-market segment, and 35% of those GCCs have been set up in past 2 to 3 years itself. And in terms of the type of work which is being delivered from these GCCs, especially the mid-market ones, it's very unconventional. And as Arvind shared his experience of how Philips is driving innovation from its center in India, most of these mid-market organizations who are looking to set up GCCs, they're not coming in to set up centers for back office operations like HR, finance, or your tech operations. These are coming in to set up more cutting edge center of excellences. In fact, a lot of technology companies are coming and setting up their product engineering arm in India. And many of these centers are as small as 20 people, 25 people being set up in a very small co-working spaces as well, from where they're delivering cutting edge product development work, or in certain cases, even working on AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning kind of technology area. So the DNA has shifted, if I have to put it, in past 3 to 4 years, especially after COVID, where more and more so companies are setting up GCCs for value and innovation vis-a-vis just for cost savings.
Thank you, Akash. The next question is for Mr. Arvind Philips. Would you be able to share your challenges in establishing a GCC in Bangalore, challenges around talent to move and settle there? and the attractiveness of the city for talent. I'm sure you'll have anecdotes around that. Mr. Arvind, over to you. I think you're on.
Sorry, I was on mute. So I think the elements have been touched about in terms of the challenges for setting up a new GCC. I would spend a little bit more time talking about the talent availability, right? So, as much as it's on the availability of talent, I would also rather say it also depends on what's the skill set you are hiring. What's the value you tend to generate from your employees here? Uh, and these are very important questions on the table. I always feel that when we talk about the Global Capability Center, uh, it should not be seen by somebody who wants to set it up saying that, look, I'm just going to hire X many number of people because of the cost. The cost, according to me, are second criteria. The first criteria should be based on the skill set and the talent pool which is available. What's the value I can generate for my business? And I think when you start talking about value, then you start to look at the talent from a different lens altogether. And today's talent in Bangalore has matured a lot. Look, there was a statistics on the previous slide, close to about 35 or 40% GCCs are there. So anywhere, any street, any corner of the Bangalore you will go, and if you catch hold of a person who is walking on the street and say, hey, do you know what is GCC? What's the kind of work they're doing? There is a very high probability that people will know what I'm doing here, what my friend is doing in another company, what my colleague is doing in another company, etc., etc. So the ecosystem is very well aware of all these facts. I think they're looking at what's the purpose with which you are coming up. Are you coming up just because I'm working and you will give me any other work and I'll continue to do that? I think the landscape of Bangalore is moving away from that. Now people want to be on the table, talk to you. Okay, you want to work on AI? What do you want me to do? How is my AI going to add a value to your customers or whoever your key stakeholders are? So I think that conversation landscape with the talent has dramatically shifted in last, I would say 5 to 7 years. I think the another part of the question here is in terms of settling the talent in Bangalore. Well, I think one of the problem of traffic in Bangalore, which I saw in this whole conversation, is because everybody wants to move to Bangalore. The climatic conditions, not just that alone, but people around. When I am off work, I want to talk to somebody who is a technologist, who is working in some other technology company, or who is adding value from a software standpoint or working something on AI, etc. So I think the settling of a talent and the attractiveness of the city to the talent is not a problem. Yes, there is a traffic which gets piled up because of this, but I would say that all of the people who are in India right now calling or dialing from Bangalore, we have learned to live with that. That's a part of the life. And at the end of the day, what gives relief is what's the value you are adding to your stakeholder. At least that's what I see. And I'm putting a little bit more emphasis on this word value again and again, because I've seen being almost 30 years in this GCC world, I've seen the last 10 years or the decade has completely taken a different turn than what it used to be before. So just a few cents from my side.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. In the interest of time, maybe we'll pick up a few quick questions. One of them came in asking in what ways could the GCC help a future R&D or a tech startup connect with the demographics of Holland and other key markets, right? Of course, one of the obvious ones that comes to mind is the success we are seeing with multiple GCCs of various companies actually opting to run open innovation programs. As you know, an open innovation program is something that a GCC would be running with the local landscape, the startups, the academic institution, etc. So what we are seeing, we have a European automobile manufacturer, we have a multinational food organization, multiple that we can just name that are currently running very successful open innovation program. They tap into the local R&D and other startups, fine-tune the product, scale it up, and then expose them to their parent markets, right? Be it in Europe or broader Asia, for that matter. So yes, we do have a lot of examples. Happy to share more offline later if you want some specific examples. The next question actually, is it possible to have some info around the stats and support available for the ODC model as well? Of course, ODC kind of sits outside this, like Akash mentioned. GCC is not exactly an ODC. We would be happy to answer some of those. If you can get in touch with us later, we'll share some of those, unless Akash, you want to add something right now?
Yeah, I think one thing which is becoming prevalent is, and I think to the point that I think Arvind also talked about some time back around talent availability. So many of the smaller organizations who are a bit apprehensive about coming and setting up GCC on their own, they do tend to look for a partner who can help them establish a GCC. So while there are models through which organizations come and set up GCC on their own, there are as well models through which organizations work with a system integrator partner or otherwise through which they are able to tap into the talent base, and that's where concepts like build, operate, transfer, or what we call it as a virtual ODC model, right? It's not really an offshore development center where the intent is to continue working with a third-party provider on a longer run, but rather to tap into the talent pool that the third-party provider has, or the ability of the third-party provider to get you the talent that you need in a longer run to help you build that one. The other model that we're also seeing, to one of the questions that was asked around startup, is many of the organizations have come to India to also start their operation through acquisition. So we have a large technology company called Cloudflare. It's a US-based firm. They entered in the India market through an acqui-hire model wherein they acquired a startup, and through that acquisition, they got access to the talent pool, and then from there, they've scaled up. So there are different models in which organizations are looking to set up their GCC, some on their own and some with the help of an external partner.
Perfect. Thank you, Akash. In the interest of time, what I'm going to do is I'll club the two questions that are directed at Shreyas. Shreyas, the first question that's to you is, are you sure about Bangalore being the more cost-effective than Holland? I'm sure you might have some specific numbers that you could share if you have them handy as to how much more cost-effective Bangalore is. The second one was, did GPI Tanks make use of a specialized consultant for setting up GCCs, or did GPI Tank find the best practices for setting up GCC themselves? Right. So how did you go about setting it up? Maybe if you can take a minute covering this.
Sure. So the first one about the cost effectiveness, I think yes, it takes time to get cost effective, because of course, as rightly pointed out, Bangalore is not the most cost effective city when you look at it. But if we look at the other advantages, and then it kind of added out, and at the end of the and it's all a game of the scale. So now that we are at that scale, now it's kind of still manageable. So it was indeed not the most obvious choice if you look at the cost focus, but then as Arvind also mentioned, it's more about value while keeping the costs in control. So I think that's where Bangalore played out in a good way for us. And regarding setting it up, yes, we did work with with a company to set things up, because it was also during the COVID phase. So we were also not, it was impossible for us to move to Bangalore that frequently. And so that's why we chose a partner in South India and that was, we actually were put in touch through the consulate. So I think that's one of the main reasons why I also pointed out Evaut and Anna and their team, because they've been very helpful to us to put in touch with the right people who made the process much simpler for us.
Excellent. Okay, thank you so much for that, Shreyas. I know we are on top of the hour, so any other question, feel free to actually reach out to us. We do have, we've shared our coordinates earlier. Happy to quickly bring that up again. Meanwhile, over to you, Edith, for the closing remarks. Yeah, so just in front of you, you should be able to see a couple of email IDs. We'll be happy to revert to you. Please reach out on any of those email IDs that you see. Yeah, for any of the questions we were not able to cover. Sorry, Edith, over to you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you all for being here. And as we have seen today, global capability centers, GCCs, are no longer just the cost-saving back offices, as we might have thought in the past. They have become true strategic hubs, driving innovation, building digital capabilities, and strengthening global competitiveness. With India's huge talent pool and vision at the forefront, GCCs are shaping the future of international businesses. And these are huge opportunities. The question now is for you, probably, as we try to be really hands-on for our members at NICCT, is this something for me, right? So in order to have this question answered, first of all, we will send you an email and share the presentations with you. A huge thanks to the gentlemen here, both of them bringing their views to how it worked, what they did, what it did to them, because that's very important to see. And if it is for you, first of all, have a look at the material. It is a lot to digest after such a short presentation. And at the material and also of the slides that was shared just recently, but will be in the email that you will all get. You will also get the email addresses that will help you further. First of all, of course, from the Consulate General in Bangalore. Thanks to Anne Kramer, Ewout de Wit, and the entire team there. I have personally been there, and we've been talking about this seminar and preparing that for quite a while already, with the great support. They will help you, and as was already said before, GPI has reached out to them to help them to get the right contact. This is something from NICCT that we would like to tell you. Please don't try it on your own. It is not something that you do just in a day. You need the right people, the right support to have the good view whether it is something for you, how you would set it up, and then together with the Consulate General and the people that are there to support you, as well as the Government of Karnataka, to really support you to make it a success, because this is what it is all about. The talent pool is there, the opportunities are there. If it is a match for you, you will find out for you specifically in these contexts. We will gladly also answer all the questions in the emails that you will get. A huge thanks to you all. We will now try to get the speech of of the opening speech of Consul General Ewout de Wit up and running with the voice, as he took all the efforts to doing that. So hopefully this will not be the welcoming, but the final message to you. And otherwise, thank you all, and we will reach out to you by email. And great that we are having this great cooperation between the Consulate and the Government of Karnataka and NICCT for you, so that we can make this a success for all of you. I hope over to the video now.
Namaskara. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you joining us from different regions in the Netherlands and India. I would also like to thank the Government of Karnataka and the Netherlands India Chamber of Commerce and Trade for co-organizing this webinar with the Consulate. Unfortunately, I cannot attend live today because of another engagement, but it is my pleasure to briefly address you. Since 2018, the Netherlands has a full-fledged Consulate General in Bangalore, the capital of Karnataka. Our main goal is to support and promote business relations between the Netherlands and South India. Our work focuses on priority sectors like high-tech, cybersecurity, agriculture, water, waste management, maritime, renewable energy, and life sciences and health. We help Dutch companies in exploring market opportunities, finding the right business partners, and establishing their business in South India. Today's webinar focuses on GCCs. The term GCC, for Global Capability Centers, is used to refer to offshore facilities set up by companies to manage a variety of business functions. For example, in finance, HR, but also R&D, for their parent organizations and global operations. I had not heard this term myself before moving to India. I worked in the embassy in Kuwait for a number of years, and there the term GCC stands for the Gulf Cooperation Council, the collaboration between the 6 Arab Gulf states. However, new countries, new meanings, and I soon learned that Bangalore is the GCC capital of India, and several Dutch companies have actually established GCC operations here. You will hear from 2 of them later in this webinar. Karnataka, the state in which Bangalore is situated, is one of India's most progressive states in terms of economy, technology, innovation, and skilled human capital. It is one of the largest economies on state level in India, and its share in India's economy has been rising steadily. During the recent fiscal year, Karnataka received the 2nd highest foreign direct investment equity into India, totaling more than $6.5 billion. Information technology, biotechnology, aerospace, and heavy engineering are among the thriving industries in Karnataka. The Government of Karnataka has developed a dedicated GCC policy in order to attract more investment into such centers into the state. They aim to have 500 new GCCs set up in the state in the coming years. As part of that policy, they have set up Catalyst, a one-stop window for companies that are looking to set up GCCs, and just last week have launched a handbook to do so. By co-organizing today's webinar with the Government of Karnataka and the NICCT, we want to provide an opportunity for Karnataka to highlight its policy to Dutch companies. I hope you will find it useful. Thank you.
Very happy it worked, and thanks to Consul General for recording this so nicely. He was talking about the handbook, and if I'm not mistaken, we will send the digital version of that handbook in our email to you. It's going to be very handy for you to go through it together with the presentations. Once again, a huge thanks to Karnataka, the Consul General, and the Consulate General, Anne Kremers, and everybody who was involved in setting up this seminar today. And wishing you in the Netherlands a lovely afternoon, and in India a nice evening. Thanks all for contributing and for listening. And this should be not the end, but the starting of seeing whether GCC will be for you. And if so, it's going to be an exciting way to globalize your business and having your GCC in Karnataka. Looking forward to seeing you at one of our next events. Thanks all for being here, for staying here throughout the presentation and everything. Wishing you a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Edith. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hoi, Kunal. Je kan jezelf
Nou,
niet
je bent
unmuten.
gemute.
Ah,
Ik zit op het verkeerde knopje te drukken. Ik zit op het icoontje van de kleine stringetje te drukken. Goedemiddag, dames.
goedemiddag, wat gezellig.
Ja, nou ja, het is een wat minder. Nou ja, het is nu een gezellige locatie, maar ik bel vanuit mijn kantoor, vanuit het oude Pieter Baan Centrum.
Nee.
Spooky!
Goed zo, jongen.
Ja.
Goed bezig.
Ja,
Heb je nog boeven vervangen?
misschien leuk om een keer hier een event of een presentatie te houden van wie dan ook.
Ja, tuurlijk.
Kijken of we dat kunnen organiseren.
Cool, graag.
Ik denk dat wel een heleboel mensen gewoon sowieso even een keer een kijkje willen komen nemen.
Dat denk ik ook. Ook zonder
Ik heb de
probleem.
sleutel. En je kunt er ook weer uit.
Dat is het
Dat is wel
voordeel.
fijn. Oh.
Zo.
Hey, jongens, ik ga hem ook afsluiten.
Ja, dan zijn we klaar. Ik bedoel, dan zien we elkaar niet.
Nee. Maar een
Dank
heleboel,
je,
bedankt
Edith.
iedereen.
Weer goed
heleboel,
gedaan. Dank je
heleboel leuke events in het vooruitzicht. Minimaal 3 als ik goed heb geteld.
Ja. En dat gaat helemaal leuk worden. We hebben er zin in.
Ja, ik ook. Ik heb hem volgens mij alle 3 overgegeven.
Kijk, altijd. Gewoon trouw. Hartstikke goed.